Hi, this is Hot Chocolate with Paul for Wednesday, July 10. It is Hump Day. So yeah, that's hot chocolate. It's not coffee. I started Hot Chocolate with Paul with the idea of having a sort of like a morning chat over coffee, except I don't like coffee. I never have. But I do like hot chocolate. So rather than coffee with Paul, it's Hot Chocolate with Paul. And with that, I'm going to use today's episode to talk a little bit about myself, get you to know a little bit more about me.
Who am I? Why am I here?
I want to show you what a typical day in my life as a newly retired person is like. So here it is. Since I'm retired, I don't need an alarm clock anymore. Natural causes wake me up. Then I enjoy some fine reading material over breakfast. Gotta get some dishes done. Then I go outside and get some yard work done. Time to get some exercise. Then I get cleaned up.
Figaro, 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 Figaro.
Practice some drumming. Time for a nice afternoon nap. Then I work hard at making a nice dinner. Finally, some nice evening activities before bedtime. First and foremost, why am I doing this video series? Well, I like editing video. I spent 32 years working at television stations here in Rochester, New York. I started in the summer of 1982 as a vacation summer relief person at WROC Channel 8. So after my time at WROC ended, I already had a job lined up to work part-time at WHEC Channel 10 through my senior year in college. Even though I worked in the control room at both TV stations, at that time they also had me do some news editing on the weekends. So that's where I learned how to do some video editing. I found that editing video was something that I enjoyed doing, especially if it was a topic that I was particularly interested in. I took those skills in 1988 and applied them to a new program that I produced for what was public TV cable access that was popular in the 1980s. With something like that, you could literally put together a videotape of a show and have your public access channel air it. And I did that with a program called Aviation Highlights. I did that for about a year. And you can go back and actually see those episodes right here on my YouTube channel. So if you go back, they were posted some years ago. There's a 1 hour episode and a bunch of half-hour episodes that aired on a monthly basis back in 1988 and 1989.
Aviation Highlights is a program about aviation in and around the Rochester area. Rush hour. Thousands of cars in the daily migration to and from a job. Traffic usually moves smoothly, but there are congested roadways, bad weather, accidents. Watching all of this from a high perch are two men in a helicopter.
WVOR 100. about 7:31. Let's check things out with Gary Trout. What's happening, buddy?
Thanks, Tony. We got a problem on 390 southbound First and Ridgeway Avenue. Captain Friendly of the Johnny Antonelli Firestone Courtesy Cruise are helping out there. Can of worms heavily traveled right now. Use caution. And on the Veterans Bridge eastbound, an accident that has westbound travel on the Veterans Bridge back up to about the Clinton Avenue overpass on 104. Use caution on the way in. This is Gara the Yarra, the WVOR traffic copter.
Back on the shores of Canandaigua Lake, now we're going to do a story about seaplanes.
So I can fly 50 feet off the water until I talk to them. So if I had to land, I could land again. But once I receive the clearance, then I can climb right up into the instrument weather and go wherever I'm going. There is no landing pattern per se. Now,
On the weekend of August 18th through the 20th, the National Warplane Museum at Geneseo will be hosting its annual Wings of Eagles Air Show. Aviation highlights will be out there covering the air show.
So that's a quick look at what I looked like back in 1989. And like I said, you can see the entire Aviation Highlights series that I produced back in 1989 right here on my YouTube channel. Just got to dig back through the videos. So as the years went by, I continued my career with WHEC Channel 10 and worked in the control room all of those years. I also had some other assignments on the side. Edited video from time to time, helping out with news stories. Worked a whole lot of different shifts at the TV station. Most of the time it was early mornings where I'd have to get up around 4 o'clock in the morning or 3:30 in the morning to be in at the station. That's not for me. I'm retired now. And one of the reasons I wanted to retire is because I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. But I still enjoy editing video, and that's what YouTube has given me the opportunity to do. So I stopped and started Hot Chocolate with Paul a couple times, and I found out that I do have a very small but very loyal group of people who like to watch this. So to you, I thank you for watching. YouTube is an amazing thing. You've got YouTubers and content creators and people who try to make a living off of being a YouTuber content creator. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm doing Hot Chocolate with Paul just purely for fun. If you really want to make money as a YouTuber, you really got to put a lot of time into it, more time than I'm willing to put into it. I don't want this to be a job for me. I just want it to be for fun, a couple times a week. And then I've got Poetry and Prose with Paul, which runs on Sundays. So that's also on this YouTube channel. So what do I get out of it? Just for fun? If I happen to make some money along the way, that's a great thing, but it's not what I'm trying to do. So if you're watching this just because you like what I'm doing, I appreciate that. And that's what it's all about for me. There are some YouTubers that I like to follow. I have subscriptions to some of them. They're mostly related to cruises and traveling and also related to music. My wife Stacy has some things that she likes to watch too. And there's a couple that we both like to watch together. So what about music? Well, I'm a drummer. Well, I started out in November of 1971 when my mother signed me up to join the Grease Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps. It was just before I turned 11 years old. So from age 11, I started learning how to play drums. I got the basics down. I learned other percussion instruments. I started out playing cymbals and moved to bass drum. By the time I was 17 years old, I had joined some friends to form a rock band, the first rock band I was ever in. We called it Silver Quarry. And then later on, I was in a group called The Mods. In 2001, I was part of a group called Intrigued. From the time that I left the Grease Cadets in 1976 to 2005, I was not involved in any marching bands. And that's when someone invited me to march with what is now Mark Time Marchers. It's basically a brass band. We usually march with a fire department. And I played bass drum. I hadn't marched in a parade in 29 years and decided to stay with it. So I did a combination of playing bass drum, quads or triplets, and snare drum, which is primarily what I play these days. A few years later, I decided I would like to try out something different, and I found Excelsior Brigade Fife and Drum Corps. Excelsior Brigade Fife and Drum Corps represents what fifing and drumming was all about during the Civil War. We dress up the way they did in the Civil War, and a lot of the music that we play is also from that area. Of course, some of what we play actually goes back to the Revolutionary War, and we have some tunes that would be considered more modern that came from the 20th century. But it all fits what we're trying to do. I've also spent some time as a drummer for a bagpipe band, the Rochester Scottish Pipes and Drums. And also Blues Circle. My latest band activity is to be a drummer for the Buffalo German American Big Band, which is a lot of fun to play for. So I've been touching a little bit on my life now as a retired person and what got me up to this point with my interests, my longtime career in broadcasting, my career for the last 10 years as a school bus driver, which now I'm going to be a substitute bus driver, and moving forward with more drumming. So I'm going to be obviously talking more about myself, my interests, activities that I'm up to, and all that with Hot Chocolate with Paul as the episodes and months and probably years go by. So looking forward to a lot of this. So I want to leave you with something. On July 3rd, the night before Independence Day, I did go out to East Aurora to march with Mark Time Marchers. I don't really have any video footage of me marching in that parade with them because I wasn't carrying a camera that was capable of recording while I was playing my drum, but I do want to give you a little bit of this. So that's how we'll close out with Hot Chocolate with Paul for today. I'm about to take a drive to East Aurora for their annual 4th of July parade, although it's July 3rd. I'm not sure how this is going to work out weather-wise. They say no rain until later, but the clouds look kind of threatening to me. Well, I'm getting into East Aurora now, and it's been raining here, They say they're going to go ahead with the parade no matter what the rain. Walking through the village after parking my car, heading to the parade lineup area. Right here on the right is a place called The Bank. I officiated a wedding there. It's actually a venue. There's Vidler's. Vidler on the roof. Out here is where we do the Christmas sing-along in December. So we probably stood somewhere right about here.
Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la. Why I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Excuse me. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la.
And there's Rookie's Restaurant where we had dinner before the sing-along. Walking into the parade lineup area. And here's my group right over here. I didn't have a camera to put out for during the parade, so that's the end of the East Aurora parade.